Welcome in, everyone. It's another episode of Dogs Down South. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. We are minimal days away from spring practice, and I think every year, I think I say it the same, and I mean it the same. It's good. I know when golf's stirring up, we got the players, Masters is around the corner. And then you get the fresh grass ready for spring practice. There's already schools that are out there hitting the practice fields, but we're going to hang out tonight, talk some dogs down south. What's up, Fish, man? How are you?
Good, man. Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's just, it's a week, middle of the week,
Yep.
um, things of that nature, but always good to get some time to hang out pre spring practice and talk Georgia football. But hey, I thought it would be cool tonight before we hopped into spring football and talk about the Georgia basketball team. I'm going to be honest with you. I have watched from afar this year because it seems as though I don't know what it is, Fish. Every time I dive in and I start turning some games on and I start watching and getting intrigued, like I think I'm bad luck, man. I don't know. So I've
Me
watched a
too.
little bit from afar this year,
Yeah.
but man, I mean, you mentioned it. I thought it'd be worth talking about. So let's talk some Georgia basketball. We got some excitement, right? Some
Yeah.
things that I read up on and learned. Georgia basketball. So first off, Fish, help me out here. So SEC tournament starts. Does it start today or tomorrow?
Yes.
Today. First
Tomorrow.
rounds.
Tomorrow's first round. Tomorrow's first
First
round.
rounds. Gotcha. So Georgia gets a win this past weekend over Mississippi State, and some things happen, and they sneak from a first round bye all the way to am I correct there? So their second round bye, they'll play the winner of Texas and Ole Miss.
No, they got the first round by.
First round bye. First
Yeah,
round bye.
which is the first time that's happened. I can't even tell you the last time they got a first round by in the SEC tournament, dude.
Right. I got to
It's
go back to
crazy.
Tubby,
Yep. Yeah.
Tubby Smith,
Yep. I
when
know.
we had
No
some
joke.
things to really get excited about, man. But okay, so we're in the SEC tournament, obviously,
Yep.
and we get a first round bye. We get to see a couple teams battle it out, and I guess how they categorize it is these teams that are playing in the first round are probably not going to bode well in this tournament.
Yeah.
That used to be us, right? But
Yeah.
Georgia gets one more week, not week, excuse me, one more day of rest, kind of hang out,
Yep.
get some practices under their belt, and they
Yep.
come in and play the winner of Texas Ole Miss.
Yep.
So like, what are our chances, Fish? Like, what do you think? I mean, I think it feels like it's Florida and everybody else, like, right?
Yeah.
But what do you think, man? I mean, you watching a little bit more Georgia basketball this year. What do you think about Georgia being able to walk out of here? Like, what are betting odds that we can walk out of here with an SEC championship?
It's it's funny because we just beat Alabama, which is the number two team in the conference.
Right.
We beat Kentucky. We beat Vandy once earlier in the year, but they just beat us not too long ago. Last week I think. But I mean, it was a close game. It wasn't a blowout or anything like that. We actually had the lead a little bit in that game. So Georgia has to stay out of its own way. And when I say that, they like to get cute with the ball,
Uh-huh.
and they try to turn it into Rucker Park or the Harlem Globetrotters instead of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah.
playing fundamental basketball, which is what you got to do. And they start throwing these crazy passes and turnovers kill them. And earlier in the year, they had a problem when they would let teams get on runs. Like they would, it seems like every game the opponent had like a 20-0 run, 15-0 run, 25-0 run, like just in the middle of the game, and that pretty much just won the game. Like it just lost the game for them. Their
Right.
defense was really crazy at times. They went through like a 5 or 6 game losing streak where they just couldn't get out of their own way.
Right.
But they've warmed up a lot, man. They're definitely top three teams in the SEC right now. I'm not. I mean, I know we can beat Bama because we just watched them do it this weekend. But Florida, man, Florida. is like on another planet right now, dude. They're playing the like best basketball out of their whole season. They
Yeah.
learned how to shoot the three. They have two big men down low that are like both 7 foot, 7 footers. So when one's not playing, the other one's in there. So they've always got a big man down low.
Right.
They've got a lot of depth, and they're shooting the three well, man. Florida's going to be tough to beat, but I see no reason why we don't play Florida in the championship on Sunday.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. And I mean, Florida, man, like I will say this, man. I mean, SEC basketball last year was. I mean, I'm not saying this year isn't. It was extremely competitive last year.
Last year
Um,
was awesome.
yeah, a little bit more competitive last year. Florida had a great team. Obviously, won the national championship last year.
Yep,
Recruited well, was able to keep some of that team together. Crazily enough. And yeah, I know
yep,
what you're talking about. They even had this kid that he doesn't play much, but and he like 7'8" or something like that. But I mean, dude basically just
yeah.
like stands there and just kind of just tosses the ball in the goal.
It's like baby Wimbenyama. That the big 7'5" dude from the Spurs. Like it's not fair, dude. It's not fair.
Yeah,
Most of these are college teams, man. A lot of the players on these teams are short.
yeah,
Like Georgia's two guards that start, Smurf Millender and Wilkinson. Man, they're both like 6'1", 6'2". Man, they're tiny
yeah,
for point guards and shooting guards in the SEC,
yeah,
and that's another thing. But we finally got some height. We finally got some big man height down low. That
yeah,
dude, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, but Surreal is his last name.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Number 5, I believe he is.
yeah,
He's really good. He's a big part of why we're doing as well as we are this year.
yeah, yeah. What do you think? I mean, direction. I mean, obviously we can. Isn't it weird though that Mike White was at Florida, comes to Georgia. I mean, the direction of the program, obviously, we feel like is going the right way. But like
Yeah,
college basketball, we talked about it last week, is kind of getting like, I don't know if it's getting like college football, but it falls in the same ranks. It's like it's really tough to understand how year to year these teams can fit in and continue to grow together and to get better
yep,
together because you're looking at the possibility of people coming in and being one and done in college
yep,
basketball, right? So, like,
yep.
I would say the Mike White, era has been nothing but up and up. I mean, would you agree?
hmm Oh yeah, every year we get a little bit better. This is our third 20-win season in a row, which I don't know if Georgia's ever done that. Maybe since the Hugh Durham days in the early '90s. Um, Honestly, it's fun to watch. I mean, and every year, like after the season ends, it's sad, but you're like, all right, what are we going to do? I know we're going to be better next year. Like I just know
Right,
it. And
right.
every year we do. We honestly do. We get a little bit better, man. Like
Yeah,
Mike White's good for us, man. I'm glad we got him.
yeah. And of course, college basketball is more of a sleeper sport, right? So that's why the tournament's so fun to watch because
Yep.
you really do get a good glimpse of the entire, like all over the United States, these schools that are just, they have these players, and this is where people get noticed, right? You look back at the days where I know, when the first time I ever saw Steph Curry play at Davidson, like that was wild. I can't say that anybody really knew a lot about Steph Curry until that tournament time came and he shot the lights out and he played some games and took
Yep.
Davidson as far as they went. And so
Yep.
that's, March Madness. That's realistically why it's madness is because you look for that Cinderella team who can possibly have a chance at winning it all. But then you have your programs that continue to be around at the time that's needed. I mean, some programs that are not still around. I mean, you've seen the I don't know if you call it demise, but more just the drop off of. I mean, I think we're seeing a cold hard look at Kentucky falling apart as we
Yeah.
speak under Mark Pope. I mean, but they have a $22 million roster. So on one hand, it's like, I mean, Kentucky puts all
Yeah.
its it puts all its eggs in that basket, and
Yep.
it's not bode well for this year. But basketball in general, college basketball, there's the goods and bads. The goods is you don't get to see the Fab Five camaraderie, the Chris Webbers and the those guys have to play 2 or 3 years together and see them bond. And Jalen Rose, I loved watching Michigan back in the day because they went out and got one of the best freshman lineups that you could have, and they stayed together, and you saw them grow together.
Ever.
And yeah, man. And then I mean, I remember as a kid, man, I almost cried when Chris Webber called that timeout, man. It was
Oh
like,
my God.
you know what I
I
mean?
was so sad. I was so sad. My orthodontist was lived a couple of houses down from me actually, Dr. Smith
Uh-huh.
in Americus, and he was actually there. He was at that Final Four in New Orleans when Chris Webber dribbled down and called that timeout and lost the game. Dude,
I was
it
in
was
awe, man.
nuts.
It
Me
was
too.
hard because I remember there was Michigan that year, and then I think I mentioned a couple weeks too. I always used to stay up late night and watch UNLV because Jerry Tarkanian was the coach out there. It was a late night game. They had a
Yep.
five that was really good too. There was a lot of hype around Larry Johnson and Stacey Augmon,
Stacey
and
Augmon. Yep.
yeah, man, it was just fun to watch, man. And you don't
Heck
build
yeah,
that
dude.
rapport around college basketball anymore because players are like, seems like they come and go. I can't remember the freshman last year, the standout for Georgia last year that went straight into the NBA. That I mean, don't you just wonder sometimes if Georgia could have kept some of these pieces together for just one more year, would it
I
be a
know
different
he's
story?
sad. I know he's sad he went because he plays for the Hawks
Yeah.
and he doesn't play much. Asa Knoll is his name,
Yes. That is correct.
and he was like a four, I think, a three or a four.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's good.
Yeah.
But man, just imagine if he'd have stayed around and honed his game one more year. But they're
Yeah.
chasing a bag, man. They're all chasing
Yeah.
a bag for the most part.
Chasing a bag to possibly be riding the pine for G League.
Yep.
It's just a one hit bag, man. Because I mean, you got to think, man. The NFL. I mean, there's plenty of opportunity out there. You really need that second layer of depth in the NFL because of injuries and
Yep.
lengthy games. I do think the college basketball game is a little shorter as far as perseverance to get through those games. So like
Yep.
it's really harder because you're trying to crack a 5-man lineup, right? So
Yep.
that's why to me it's just kind of backwards. It's like how long they stay. I mean, I could see I don't want this to happen, so I don't want to say this too loud, but I can see in college where it'd be like, all right, one and done because I mean, you're talking about running backs that get into the NFL and they're only good for three 3 to 5 years before, depending on how
That's their
hard they got
prime.
hit in college and first 3 years they're done.
Yep.
So,
That's
well,
true.
look,
Running
man,
back is a very short-lived position in the
yeah,
NFL. It really is. I
I
mean,
just
it's
saw,
important, but it's not near as high value as, like, say, a quarterback, wide receiver. It's crazy. Like, 'cause they're really undervalued, like
yeah,
crazy undervalued. But that's because they have a short shelf life.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't believe that. Not to break too far into this, but Walker from the
Oh my
Seahawks. I mean, he
God,
goes out and he gets a $45 million contract. And the thing is,
they
man,
just
it's
let him
like
go.
the thing is though, it's like you better get it now because, like you said, it's like it ain't gonna be there forever. Like
Yep.
that's his payday, man. Like that was
Yeah.
it for him. He made his bank, and there you go. So, wow.
Yep.
Well, look, I think I think we both agree that this is gonna. I think they were ranked around a 10 or 9 as far as getting into the tourney bracket, and I think if they go in and at least just compete, look, if they go in and compete that first game and fall short, I still think they're somewhere in that 7 to 9 mark as
Yep.
far as in the tournament. And then, like if you said, if they go in and they win a couple and tie a few together like they're capable of doing, who knows, man? I mean, it'd be nice to see Georgia go in at a 6 or a 5 seed and
Yep.
be able to go through a little. I mean, it would be huge momentum for a team that has not had a lot to go off of as far as success. And
Hmm.
Mike White has gotten better and better every year with this team, even though they don't have a lot of hardware and success to kind of go off of. So I'm rooting for him, man. I can't wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna try to check the game out. What time do they play tomorrow? For the folks
4
listening to
o'clock.
us, four
I think
o'clock.
it's 4.
Where's the games at this year? I know the women's are
Nashville.
in. Oh, they're in Nashville. Okay, I know the women's are over
Yep.
there in. I think it's Greenville. Yeah, South Carolina.
Yeah. I think so.
Um, all right, man. Well, hey, spring football is around the corner, man. We're set for another year of countdown, I guess, college football. We spring is nice because we get to. I was thinking about it today as I was putting notes together, Fish, and I was like, we get to see what some of these freshman numbers are going to be and who we're looking at. And I was thinking to
Yes.
myself, I was like, if I was a Dog fan, like, and spring was around the corner, like, what would I want to really know? We get excited about spring football because it's like we get a glimpse of football season kind of starting early. But then we have like the questions, and as we follow along, and so I thought it would be cool to talk about a few things with what needs to be answered the most. Like, what is the biggest answer we need coming out of spring? I thought it'd be cool to preview a couple of players that are going to be freshmen that are going to be wearing new numbers and walking around and going, all right, like out of these freshmen, like, do we see any of these guys that may see some playing time this year, kind of like an Elijah Griffin last year, right? And then
Yeah.
and then talk about some names that were at last year's spring practice or this year's, or maybe transferred into the portal, that are names and numbers to look for. We could talk. I mean, we're going to. We could talk about Gunner. We can talk about Nate Frazier, all of them. But I think for fans out there, they're going to be looking at spring, going, all right, like, what are the additions and who are we looking for to fill some of these gaps and voids that went on to the NFL and graduated? So I thought we'd kick it off with this, Fish, and I want to know your take on this. It's kind of a multiple choice, but so so what needs to be answered the most in spring? Like we talked about at the end of the show last week, like what do you think the biggest, you're excited about? What do you think the biggest you know group that has to take a step forward? But I wrote a couple of things down and we can look at each of them. But I think one for me, and I'll have you speaking to this too, is I think the question is the D line elite? Like we've heard so much in the offseason. We went out and got a portal hit. We had great development on that line. We had some players that were out last year with Hall and a couple of these guys that were banged up. Gabe Harris towards the end of the year. But now we've seen this defensive line stick around. They didn't transfer. They didn't leave early. The freshmen that had to get quality snaps are still there. So my question is, Fish, is like, would you agree that this is one of the most biggest things we need to look at in the spring? And there's a couple more, but what about D line? What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, I think they all need to emerge. I mean, they all like they finished the year great, man. Our front seven was top of the line last year at the end of the season. And I'm really excited. Actually, not worried about them really at all. I think our D line is going to be solid. I think those guys, like you said, a lot of them came back. Nobody left, hit the portal, anything like that. The freshmen we had last year got some snaps, got some playing time. The younger guys, they were super young. Remember, we had the youngest team in the SEC, I think,
Yeah,
last year.
yeah,
And I mean, we're only going to get better, especially at that certain position group.
yeah. I think it's 14 returning starters, which is number one in the SEC, and it might be pretty high up there in all of college football.
Yeah,
So definitely, a number that is, what do I say? It's daunting because with those returnings, you would think we should have every reason to be in the thick for everything we do, and it's a long summer and it's a long spring, so there's plenty of time to talk about what we think records are going to look like and who we play and where we're going. But
yeah,
like right off the bat, that's a huge spot for us. I think we had improvements last year in stopping the run. I think we I think we tried at times to show glimpses of getting back to the standard of what it looks like for Georgia defensive linemen to actually take on and be recognized and double teamed to free up linebackers. But with that being said, um, that's what I would say about the next thing is you know I didn't put secondary on here, but the reason I didn't put secondary on here is because I feel like last year it might have been a little bit of both, like because we didn't have the presence of that havoc that we had when we had some of the guys like Jalen Walker and Jordan Davis and all these people that could just single-handedly cause havoc, right?
yeah, yeah.
We made those secondary guys cover for a long time, right? And it's hard. It's hard to play
Yep.
man defense like Georgia wants to play and worry about the feet of the quarterback, which nowadays 70 to 80% of quarterbacks in not only in the NFL but in college football are more versatile. They can run the
It's a
ball. They can
it's
throw
a
the ball. They can
prerequisite now. It's
Yeah,
part of the job. You better be fast.
yeah. So what's your take on that? I didn't put secondary down here, but I do think that what ties in really well with what we need to what we need to have answered in spring is this defensive line going to be able to cause enough havoc? I think linebackers are included. We'll talk about that a little bit later on when we name some of these names to get some pressure on the quarterback and give these cornerbacks and these safeties a chance out there.
I mean, we have to be focused on pass rush. I mean, we have to. I'm sure Kirby doesn't enjoy being the laughing stock of the SEC when it comes to pass rush. And I hate listening to the guys. I hate listening to Kirk Herbstreit and Chris Fowler talk about it nonstop,
Right.
like during the Alabama game. Like they just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on. I mean, like we were a joke. Our pass rush was a joke.
Yeah.
And, and I'm sure that doesn't sit well with Kirby. And like I said, it got better towards the end of the year, but
Yeah.
they have to. Like
Yeah.
I know they're working on that. I know he's coming up with something. I know they're scheming him and Glenn Schumann. They have to be.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. So would you agree that pass rush and affecting the quarterback and havoc would go where improving in the run game was for last year? I mean, we sat here last year and I think I look back at our notes. We came out of these conversations at spring, and I think Georgia agreed. I mean, we're not brain scientists, but they knew too. We had to run the ball better last year. We had to have better offensive line play last
Yep.
year. That was a huge goal, and we did. Like we did get back to running the ball like the Georgia of old. Would you agree that that might be the number one bubble on the list for 2026 and 2027 is to get back at the quarterback and to be able to cause pressure?
I hope so. But I mean, we've kind of just been searching for anything we can do since, Jordan Davis, Devontae Wyatt, and Jalen Carter. That's
Yeah.
a legendary defensive line.
Yeah.
Like all those boys are starting in the NFL, all of them. In fact,
Yeah.
Jordan Davis just got a new contract.
Mm.
Jalen Carter, I think the Eagles are actually trying to trade him somehow. I think they're trying to wheel and deal him, but only to free up cap space. That's all, or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're all starting. Devontae Wyatt, if he doesn't get injured last year, like he's on pace to have like a career year as far as tackles and tackles for loss go. I
Yeah.
mean that D line was no joke, and
Yeah.
I think we got a little spoiled, and but I mean numbers don't lie either, man. Our sack totals the past couple of years have just been bad, and yeah, it starts with the D line and being able to get in there and free up some of the backers,
Right.
and help those guys come off the edge a little bit better. I mean, because we had some dudes, back then. I mean, it would be
Right.
nice if we could figure that out again.
Right. I mean, you know, we talked about it last week. New hires, obviously, Phil Rauscher was a huge part. Now we know in why the offensive line last year made a little bit of a turn for the better, and why the run game was a little bit more successful. Obviously, adding Knight to the realm, and I'm hearing something I heard about this guy literally a day or two after we talked about him. He actually wears cleats to practice. So there's not a day you won't find him on the field where he's not wearing cleats. He likes to be in there with the guys. He likes to, even though he's a little bit older, he likes to run some of the drills, challenge them. He believes that when you're at practice, you have every opportunity to perform and to make the best of it. Now, sounds like a guy to me that, like, if you tell me you're wearing your cleats at practice, Kirby's drooling over that, right? Kirby's a practice guy.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah.
can you just see when he says that? Can you see Kirby just going, Do we even need to say anymore? Like, this guy's doing drills. He's like hitting
Yep.
bags. He's wearing cleats. He is a cleats at practice guy.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so that is promising. But I just think, man, we got to get back to the days of when we are making it hard for the quarterback. Would you agree that the game is completely different against Ole Miss if Trinidad Chambliss is caused to do some different things with his legs that is not just snap the ball and have the freedom to choose where he wants to run, how he wants to make the play go, but more so snap the ball and everything be affected and determined where he has to go or he can't go anywhere. That's a huge
No,
difference to me.
100%, man. And something else I noticed in that, and I mean, I don't know how much they can coax this out, or it was just the big boys were tired because they were chasing him all the time. But the angles they were taking,
Yeah.
like some of the pursuit angles they were taking against him late in the game, some of those big runs that he made and some of those big plays he was able to make, they were just, the angles were terrible.
Yeah.
Like I've watched it 100 times. Like, I mean, they were just out of containment. They were out of scheme, or they were just, and I don't know if they were just tired or what, because I mean, literally, dude, they had been chasing that man around the whole second half.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah. No,
I don't know, but that's huge.
when you're tired though, I mean, the funny thing you said, I heard some about this when they were. I mean, they were. If you go back and watch that game, we were asking our corners and our safeties to do the impossible. We were asking them to play one-on-one. Trinidad Chambliss, which was different than the first and second game. The first game, we were able to get pressure. We were able to dial some things up that he had not seen. And he had a lot of time post SEC championship, even post Egg Bowl, to really just hawk the film and know, what he was going to be looking at this time around. But I would tell you that you do tend to take bad angles when you feel like you can't run somebody down. So you got to find your cheat methods, and your cheat methods determine sometimes they hurt you worse than just trying to just basically out athlete them. I mean, it's kind of like if I was trying to chase you down and I'm like, man, I can either chase directly after him or I can try to depict where he's going and just cut him off. And that's what we did is we tried to beat him to a spot. And when we got
You
to
wouldn't
that
have to
spot,
run
we were
long,
tired.
brother, if you were chasing me. You wouldn't have to run very long.
Well, first off, I wouldn't be
Give about
chasing
5 seconds.
you. Right. First off, we would
5
not be
seconds.
running or chasing
No,
each other at
no, it'd
this
be
age.
walking fast.
Crazy. Yeah, man. So I think that's the second, question that we have to come out of spring with some sort of formula or answer to, right? At least personnel wise. The last thing I'll
Yeah.
say is I think we have like we got to know who the known wide receivers are that are going to step into key productivity roles for the upcoming season. There's a lot of names. You're going to hear. I'm going to tell you the list of players that are other names to be known are full of wide receivers, right? I think it's a big reason why we didn't go out and really comb the market for a lot of wide receivers, right? We went and got Canyon, but I think we can both agree that we needed at least that get to have a guy in there who was game ready, game experience, who had catch radius and a little bit of the same what can I call it? The same Noah Thomas, type vibe, the same catch radius as a Colby Young. We needed another guy like that because we do feel like, I mean, we both said it, if we have Colby Young last year for the entire year, I think our offense is a little bit different. I think you got a receiver you can depend on to stretch the field. I think you have a receiver like Zachariah Branch who is dependent on to do a lot after the catch. But would you agree? Like, I mean, I feel like that is the one question in my mind to go, I feel good about it because it's Kirby. We have talent there, but I just don't know who they are. I mean, last year at this time, how did you feel about the wide receiver room? Because you didn't know, you knew Zachariah Branch had talent. We were both talking. We were like, can't wait to see Zachariah Branch. Can't wait to see it. We heard the news. We saw it a little bit in spring drills, but like, do you feel a little bit weird going, where's that productivity going to come from?
A little nervous because, not gonna lie, I mean, he led the SEC in yards after catch last year. I mean, all you had to do was throw the man a screen and boom, he's gone.
Right.
And we've got a couple of guys that can be dynamic like that. I think Gunner's going to have to get him the ball and, give him the opportunity. Bobo's going to have to call the plays. But I like the list. Like, I
Yeah.
really do. I'm sitting here looking at it, and, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
Plus, Landon Humphreys coming back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Taylon Taylor, coming off that injury, he's the guy I think that we're looking for to kind of be that Zach Branch type of dude. They have kind of a same build. I don't know. I think Zach Branch was a little bit shorter,
Right.
but I think Taylon Taylor is just as explosive.
Yeah. I just think, yeah. I mean, I agree with you. I just think coming out of spring, like if I'm sitting there right after post, G Day, however it lands this year, if I feel like the defensive line caused a lot of problems for the offense, and I feel like there's a couple of names that really set themselves apart. I don't want to hear about who looked good. Like, I want to see people who set themselves apart from the other receivers. And then
Yep.
the third thing is, man, is like I want to see the secondary more confident because we're causing chaos. Like, I want to see DeMello Jones more confident. I mean, I think Ellis Robinson has been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Whether you gave him, whether you're going to give me 10 seconds or 5, I'm going to make plays. I mean, he has gone through about as much as I don't know what you call it, man. Like he's taken the criticism. He's had some drops. He's had a few busts. He's had a hard days. He's like, hey man, we were asking last year, is Ellis Robinson going to live up to this 5-star hype? And towards the end of the year, he did. And everybody's coming in with lockdown vibes this year. But if the secondary feels confident about covering some of these Georgia receivers, like that's a win for us in spring. Like I can leave there going, I trust we're going to get on the same page on the defense. I trust the O line with all the depth that we're going to talk about here in a minute, and I trust that Gunner's going to take a step forward this year. And our running back room is honestly, I mean, we're not going to talk much about it tonight because they're not names that you don't know, but there's a running back room built to be one of the best in the country this year.
Yep.
And it's crazy because it's built around team mentality, and there's no like one or two guys that are just standing out and going, "Hey, who's the best running backs we need to look at in the entire country?" And you're not hearing the Nate Fraziers, you're not hearing the Chauncey, and that's frankly that's how Georgia likes it, and that's how Nate Frazier them like it.
Fine with me.
Yeah. So, all right, well, let's do it. So names we need to listen for during the spring that we have no idea. Now, I've done some research. I know what some people are listening want to know is when I'm looking at pictures, what numbers are they going to be wearing? I have some numbers tonight. I have some guesses. I thought it would be cool fish to guess and see if we're right, right? Just throw it out
Yeah.
there because to be like, man, if we're right, like, man, that would be huge. So let's introduce 4 incoming freshmen that I think Fish have the opportunity to play some valuable downs at some point in the season. Okay. So we're going to first start out with this one. So this one, Valdine Sohn, right? 5-star defensive lineman, 6'4", 320 out of Blue Ridge High School in Virginia, right? This kid
Mm-hmm.
played football overseas up into his junior year in high school. He led teams. I want to say, don't quote me on this. He's from Sweden, but right around the JJ Hanna, like kind of in that recruitment process is where they found him. So 5-star, number 15 defensive lineman prospect overall, number 4 in Virginia, Prep Star Magazine 5-star prospect, number 8 D lineman prospect, and overall, and 3 in Virginia. Um, Number 4 prospect in Virginia per 4-star prospects from ESPN.com. And he's the number 29 overall defensive tackle, period, in coming out. Now, 5-star kid. Why do I think we will see a lot of this kid? Even though we have this defensive line that is stacked, loaded this year. Why? Because I think he reminds me a lot of Elijah Griffin, and I love how Trey Scott, he likes that line just like the offensive line. He likes it to be fresh. He likes to rotate. He likes to have guys in there. He likes to have fresh bodies, and especially if we want to cause havoc. Fish, when you saw this name, have you heard much about this guy that I kind of picked off here? What do you know about him?
I'd feel a lot better about him if he was the number 4 prospect in like Florida or Georgia. Just, I mean, no,
Yeah,
just kidding. Virginia's fine. Um, but
that's why he
I don't
left
know,
Virginia,
players
bro,
out of
because they don't play football down there. Up there, sorry.
no, I think he's gonna see some time. I mean, we love to rotate our D lineman, dude. I don't know, like we have one of the like largest defensive line rotations I think I've ever seen. The
Right.
amount of guys you see running in and off the field, dude, throughout the game, and numbers that you have to pay attention to because they're changing them out. First down, second down, third down. You know, if the team's not running no huddle or something like that,
Yeah.
fresh bodies, fresh legs, just rotating in and out. And I
Uh,
like that. I love the way we do that.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely. I'm excited about this kid, and he's a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a big dude. He's not tiny.
If you had to take a guess, like, I don't know yet. I haven't seen. I looked everywhere. I found some. But what do you think? Like, what's your guess? What number you think he's going to wear this year? I think I got a guess, but it could be like off the wall. But you know, I like those single digit D linemen. You know,
I do too. I would love to see him run out there and like at number 8 or
number
something
like
like
8
that. You
on the
know,
D line.
number
Yeah, I mean that could
number
be
5.
available. I
But he's a Viking, so I'm gonna say 92.
like it. I'm putting it down because we can go back and we can see if we were right. I think it's a single digit, but I'm gonna let you do the guessing. Okay.
All right.
Second name you need to know. Uh, Ikeen Ugboko, offensive lineman, 6'6", 315, South Garner High School, North Carolina. So this was our get on the offensive line this year. This was a Rauscher. This is kind of Rauscher's first dabble into drafting a class for, I think, what he was ready to do and what he was wanting to do per future, right? Um,
Hmm.
you look at him and he's not the standard 330, Juan Gaston 3. That's a little bit wild, but what was Gaston? What 360 something like that? 370. I mean,
Yeah, it was like 360,
I think his
365,
playing
something like
weight
that.
ended up 350, but
Yeah.
this kid right here, a lot of people are saying, look out, he's going to be second, second level right off the bat, and is going to get some really good rotation. But number 33 prospect nationally, number 5 offensive tackle prospect, and number 4 in North Carolina, Prep Star Magazine 5-star prospect. Number 2 offensive tackle prospect in the state of North Carolina, and then at the end of the day, man, some people had him at 5 stars, some had him at 4. On 3, which I respect a lot, had him at 5. Um, so I think this will be a kid that fits Rauscher's style. I think you're going to see, and I know we haven't seen Rich Man in a while, but Rich Man had a point a few months back. He said, are we going away from the battleship type, you know, offensive lineman to some of these
Yep.
guys that are a little bit more stronger, can move a little bit more, and get back to the old school type of, football. We kind of swayed a little bit when my man Pittman came in. It was size, size, size. I don't
Yep.
know. I don't know. To get back to an offense, maybe that Georgia, wants to pursue in the future with maybe continue with more versatile quarterbacks. Maybe this is something that the look is. But I think this kid has an opportunity to come in and play on a rotation immediately. What you know about this kid, Fish?
I agree, dude. I think, and Notre Dame, Jeremiah Love did fine behind an offensive line that was a little bit smaller at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
Like those guys weren't big at all, but they were quick. And
Yeah,
they could get out in front of the backs when they would like run, sweeps or something like that, and they could go out there and pull and get some blocks, and they could get out ahead, so the running back doesn't have to wait around as much. The play doesn't have to develop slowly, for the big guys to get out in front. Um,
yeah,
I, I'm cool with it, and I'm also kind of a whatever works kind of a guy, you know, when it comes to that. And if that's the direction we're going, I'm cool with that. And
yeah,
yeah, Richman brought it up. I remember, he
yeah,
had a point. We might not see the days of the big hog mollies,
yeah,
anymore. We might go after some, smaller guys who are a little bit quicker, a little bit faster off the snap.
yeah. physicality, good old fashioned
Yep.
physicality, in the weight room, and I don't know, man. I like this Rauscher guy, man. He's a. I
Yeah.
mean, have you seen him? He kind of looks like a mad scientist type guy. Like he's not your. If I had to pick him out of a lineup, I wouldn't be like. If they said, "Well, what do you think this guy coaches?" I'd be like, "I think he's the. I think he's like the assistant trainer." I don't know, man. He doesn't look like the offensive line coach, you know. But I
No,
think he
yeah,
has a
I've seen
method
him.
to his
Yeah, you're right.
madness. You know what I'm saying? Like you've seen him. He's just like,
Yeah,
whoa, dude. He's like
yeah.
surfer guy. Like, but he's not like he doesn't come off like as an O lineman either. So.
No, yeah, I'm cool with it, man. I like, I'm putting my faith in him, like I
Yeah.
always say, in Kirby we trust because we have no
Yeah.
reason not to.
Yeah. What about you want to take a little stab at what number you think he's going to wear? I'm gonna go for this one too. I'm thinking offensive line, man. This is I think a Boko's like a 50 52, like a Christian Miller number type thing. I think we want 52. Yeah.
I'm
Talk
cool.
about
I
it.
like that. I like that. I was thinking I like Monroe Freeling 57 out there on the left side was pretty
Okay.
awesome last year. I like watching that.
57.
Let's say
Maybe he goes 6'7".
59.
6'7".
Yeah. Can't believe we just did that.
Bro, I said it earlier today, man, and
My
I was
wife's
like
laughing at me.
I was
My
like
wife's laughing at me.
I was like frowned upon when I said it earlier today, man. I was like, are we still we're not doing that no more? Okay, cool. All right, last
My
one.
kids just kind of, oh my God, when I say it. Like,
Like
stop,
mine
please.
too.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Mine
Just
too,
stop.
man. It's like, dude, it never got like adult vibe-ish enough before it got kid old. It's like it takes a
Yeah.
while, dude. Let it get to us, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
I know, right?
and then lastly, a kid that I think and it's like you might say, well, how does this kid crack the lineup? Because of the retooling constantly of this tight end room, right? And we're going to talk about the tight end depth that we're going to have this year. But Caden Prothro ended up being voted on as Mr. Football for the state of Georgia, ranked number 35 nationally, number 4 tight end prospect, number 5 in Georgia. Prep Star Magazine, 5-star prospect. ESPN has him at 5 stars, number 1 tight end prospect in Georgia, named 2025 Atlanta Journal-Constitution Super 11 as a senior. Helped lead Bowden to 11-2 record and Class A Division II semifinals. 50 receptions for 930. Listen to this: 50 receptions for 931 yards and 24 touchdowns, averaging 77.6 yards per game. He set a GHSA state record with 61 career touchdowns.
Dang.
This kid is legit.
Yeah.
And I say that all to say is like these are supposed to be players we think will break into the lineup. I think it could be an Ethan Barbour type thing, man. It's like, how do you keep him out of the lineup? Are there going to be some sets for him? He's 6'6", right? He's 220. A lot of length in our tight end rooms, ton of length, a lot of athleticism. This one I like this one, man. And this was one that you just kind of hope you see some packages for, right? You kind of know you'll see Son and Boko, but like this one, you're like, I think we will at some point in time. What do you know? What do you think about this name? This was a splash for us. It was a get for us that we kind of knew, but some people made some stabs at trying to take away from us late in the game. But 5-star, another tight end for Georgia, Caden Prothro. What do you know about this kid, Fish?
I'm excited about him, and anytime that we can get a big tight end, especially a Mr. Football in Georgia, because that's no small feat. That's not nothing.
Right.
He's gonna see the field. They're gonna draw something up for him as long as he goes out in spring and makes strides, and comes along as much as Kirby expects him to. He's got some dudes in front of him too now, like
Yeah.
Ethan Barbour. Ethan Barbour is no joke. He doesn't get hurt last year. I think the offense looks a little bit different,
Yeah.
honestly, because he was making some impact plays, some impact blocking for sure, man. He's a dude. Like he's a dog. He's an athlete. But he's definitely going to see the field, and I like his length too. I like 6'6". That's a big guy. That's hard to cover because he's going to see a lot of linebackers.
Yeah.
On him, and
Yeah.
you don't see a lot of 6'6" linebackers. I don't think you see any 6'6" linebackers.
No.
So
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be open.
Yeah. Yeah, I think these three guys right here. I mean, there were some honorable mentions in there. I mean, I had a couple names you can look at: Nick Abrams, Kamari Brooks, two linebackers, 4-star. I actually follow Nick Abrams. He's a pretty personal guy. I mean, I say personal, like he has a good personality. I follow Nick Abrams on
Gotcha.
TikTok. He actually follows. He follows us on Dogs Down South on TikTok. So he's
Really
a really fast
nice.
kid. Really, he's jacked too, dude. I mean, I like Abrams. I'm learning his personality because you see his videos and he goes live. Actually, this is pretty cool too. Dylan Bell follows Dogs Down South on TikTok now. I saw him live the other night. So
Oh
pretty
man,
cool
that's
stuff,
awesome.
man. Yeah, man. So Nick Abrams, Kamari Brooks are kind of some honorable mentions we had in there. Now, let's float in really quick to some players that will be roaming around. We got some numbers in here, but two portal names and numbers that we're going to want to know who they are, where they are, and that we're kind of excited about seeing. I put two down here. I put on offense Isaiah Canyon. I don't have a number yet. I don't know. I don't know which one he's wearing. I know he wore 4 at Georgia Tech. I don't know. I mean, I could see him wearing 4. I don't think anybody wears 4 on offense. Am I wrong? I had
I don't
something
think
pulled
so
up.
either.
So it might be.
Nate's 3.
Um,
Chauncey Bowens is 33. Bo Walker's
yeah.
24.
Yeah, so I think this could. I think he might be fine with that number. Then on defense, I think we're all excited about. So this person out of the portal that I chose was Amaris Williams. He'll be wearing 10. But this is a guy right here, man, that like once again is going to line up, and people need to understand what we want and what we went and got him for, and to expect to bring to this already loaded defensive line and edge group. Excited about these two
Mm-hmm.
guys. He'll be wearing number 10. Now, Fish, before when we get into these other names, I want to hit a little bit now. Out of these wide receivers, I named a lot of wide receivers because I just think this is the biggest room that we got to see some people. Like, you need to understand who these people are because these are the ones that have taken the places of the Dylan Bells and the Colby Youngs and the Zach Branches and these guys. Like, these are the guys. But I want to have a conversation about like who do you think might bust out of these guys? I have these names down. Other names to keep a close eye on during spring that are not like you're not your typical players. Not your Nate Fraziers. They're not your those guys. I have Sokovie White Helton. Obviously, Sokovie White Helton's been with the program for a while. Wearing 18, he actually did some. He probably will primarily be on punt return duty this year. I got Talon Taylor. He'll be wearing 11, like he did last year. CJ Wiley. If he's running around, CJ wears 6. Here's one, Landon Raldon. Now, we were intentional about if everybody remembers Landon Raldon, what do we? I don't want to put you on the spot, Fish, but why should we remember Landon Raldon?
Oh my God, I don't know.
He was our
I'll
he
start
was,
as soon as I saw the name. As soon as I saw the name, I was like, "Oh my God, I know he's important, but I can't remember why."
yeah, he was our fake punt guy. Remember against Ole Miss?
That's right.
It was fake punt in our territory that I don't know, man. Like we ran that, and I was like, that ain't like Kirby right there. But then again, I don't want to spark that game up too much. So, but yeah, Landon Raldon, man. I mean, just a easy 4.40 back there. Um,
Yep.
somebody who's turned heads that is a freshman off that list that I'm hearing is taking some of those balls in the slot where Zach Branch was, who has shown glimpses of Zach Branch, are Craig Dandridge. I mean, Craig Dandridge, a freshman, comes in with a ton of speed. A lot of people talking about this kid, right? When
Yep.
you look at these guys, I mean, these 5 that I just named, like, if you had to name Z, Y, and the slot right now, like, who do you think takes the field first game of the year? Like, who do you think are the guys that they're going to entrust for the productivity first game of the year? And then we'll look at the
Landon
second wave of them.
Landon Humphreys, number 1. Talon Taylor, number 2. CJ Wiley, number 3.
Did you forget Canyon on purpose?
Huh?
Or you think
Oh,
did you?
no. No. Screw. Okay. All right, Canyon number one.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Uh, I'm still doing Taylor Taylor at number two and CJ at number
Okay.
three.
Okay. That's fair. That's fair. I think you'll see a little mix. I mean, I think they'll trust, and you probably meant to say this too. I think they're going to trust Canyon Humphreys at the Y and the Z. First off, I mean, I think if you look, Humphreys was targeted. As far as outside of Zach Branch, he was the hottest targeted person by Gunnar Stockton. And I do see who'd you have in the you had Taylor in there. I mean, I think
Yeah,
Taylor will see some
he
at the
he
Y
saw
and
a
the
lot.
Z.
He saw the field a lot last year until he
Yeah,
got hurt. Or
yeah,
yeah, until he got hurt, he did see the field a lot.
yeah. I think Helton. I think Sokovie White Helton, man, could be the guy they lean on in that slot to take a lot of what Zachariah Branch did. And you could see, I mean, the sleeper name that I'm going to say that I think is a name that everybody that hears my voice tonight and in the future needs to understand is I think this Craig Dandridge name is one to look out for as far as a guy that they go, I wonder if we can get the ball to him
Yeah,
like we got it to Zach Branch in space and see what he can do, regardless of if he's a freshman or not. I've just heard a buzz about him. And so
yeah,
I'm putting it out there because if we see it, it's like I mean, obviously I'd love to break it here first, but yeah, I
would be
mean, but
awesome.
but all these guys, right? I mean, you need to see a step in the
Yeah,
right direction with CJ Wiley. I mean,
yeah,
here's the trick question, right? We we went and got CJ Wiley, we went and got Taylor Taylor, we went and got a lot of these guys, including a couple of freshmen, Ryan Mosley from Carrollton this year. I mean, Fish, don't you think if they don't turn the corner this year, this is their sophomore year, right? If they don't turn the corner this year, like so much talent coming in from the high school ranks, right? Do you start
yeah.
to wonder? Trick question here, but it might for some dog fans they may love it, some may hate it. Do you feel like you start to look at Georgia and go, are we still missing the boat in the development of our wide receivers? Because CJ Wiley and Taylor Taylor came in 5-star, 4-star, and CJ Wiley was very borderline 5-star at Milton. These were
Yeah.
guys that they thought, okay, they have the opportunity to come in, and Taylor Taylor did, but to make a difference immediately, right? So would you question the fact if our wide receiver development is struggling if that doesn't happen?
I, I mean, okay. Look back to the two national championships we run in a row. Okay, who were our wide receivers? And don't say Brock Bowers because he was a tight end. Okay, Lad McConkey was our probably one of our best, if not our best, and he was a 3-star,
Okay,
right? Wasn't he a
fair
three
enough.
star? So
Yep.
I mean, it's not, and he's killing it in the NFL, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, and he's and at Dillon Bell, you know, um, it's not. Georgia has never ever had like the Jamison Williams or the Eric Mechis or the Jeremiah Smiths or we don't ever get those guys. AJ Green is the last one like high profile superstar wide receiver that we've had. We really don't go for guys like that. I mean, we go for guys like Kirby has this thing. He gets guys that you know that that he wants.
Yeah.
He's very particular about who he gets, and he doesn't mind
Mhm.
grabbing a 2 or a 3-star if he likes them. If he thinks he can develop them and turn them into something.
Right.
Um, and he's kind of been doing that. Now, is it a little lackluster? Would I like to see a high flying, high powered, Mac Jones when he went to Bama kind of an offense? I would love that.
Right.
But that's really not who we are. Like we're never going to be the dude. And I don't think Gunner's going to sling it for 4,500 yards. I think he's supposed,
Right.
300, 3,000, 3,200 maybe, 25, 26, 27 touchdowns and a bunch of yards from our running backs. Like, that's who we are. That's our identity. So
Yeah.
I think I'm the only thing that's tripping me up with this group is who are they?
Mhm.
Like who are these guys? Like we know some of the names, but we haven't really seen what they can do yet. On an 11
Right.
game season. Like because nobody's been there, well, except for Landon Humphreys, and we know what we think we know what we're getting from Cannon, but we don't really know.
Yeah.
because of the type of offense and the competition he was playing last year. It's gonna be different this year for him in the SEC, I believe.
Yeah.
So we'll
And it's
see.
so
Sorry, I went on a rant. My bad.
no, you're good. It you just never know too, man. Like I love listening to the guys from I love listening to Rusty Manziel and all them when they're talking about, spring, listen to Dogs HQ and things of that nature. But I do feel like sometimes we get a little bit over pumped up because we're so excited about seeing football again that we give a little bit too much credit for what we're seeing. And my thing is this, like, what I don't want to happen is I don't want to have a season where we don't get the productivity that we need out of the wide receiver group if it's a London Humphreys and a Sokovie White and a Canyon, and then we see these Talon Taylors, these CJ Wileys, and these kids that they transfer out. Because I do think if they're not, I mean, Fish, the bad news for Georgia fans, they need to understand they hear it here first. If these two guys are not a predominant part of the offense this year and produce, they're gone next year. I'm calling that. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not truthful about it. But what would hurt the most is to see that Talon Taylor go over to an Ohio State or a Bama or a Florida and be
and
productive.
and ball out.
Right. Right. So like that's my thing. This is we went out and got Canyon. I think when you look at what we lost at the position, we lost, you said it the other day and I believe you. I think it was a really good take. It was, look, we may have had three of the better receivers Georgia's ever had on the same team. And that's a good thing for recruiting. That's a good thing for Coley, for how we emerged post Brian McClendon, which you could say that McClendon was a great teacher of the game, but he wasn't as good as a recruiter as everybody. And some people can say, well, he went up against the fact that Georgia was notorious for not being great wide receiver recruiters. Well, that can always change, right? And money's involved too. So things change with money. But I will say, like, it will be sad to know that they'll go somewhere else and ball out. So I do think this is why I have them as we have to answer some questions. I need to see three things being shouted out of spring practice. Number one, the wide receiver group is uncoverable. Like, they are just really causing a lot of chaos for the secondary, which will kind
I
of go
love
up
that.
against the second thing that I talked about, which was that means we're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. Or thirdly, the secondary is just not, regardless of either or, has not shown improvement, which I guess, like you said earlier, I trust more of the fact that we can get there with the defensive line, the secondary. However, I don't trust that with the wide receiver group because um, we could have every great running back in the game in the backfield, but we all see what can happen when you're one dimensional. I mean, Alabama couldn't run the football and put an offensive run scheme together to save their life last year, and that was their Achilles heel.
Big
They were
time.
scouted that way. They were played that way, including by us, and it was the way to go. And it was embarrassing. So,
Yep.
a couple other players, Quintavious Johnson. I think we saw some splashes from him. That's a name you need to know and you need to expect. He's actually changing numbers this year. As we know, C.J. Allen went to the league, and
Is that
so
number three?
he's getting three. So it'll be Quintavious
Ooh,
Johnson when you
love a
see.
single digit linebacker.
Yeah. So you'll see a lot of single digits. You'll see a 3, you'll see a 9. Actually, Justin Williams wears 19. It was weird to see him not change numbers. 19 felt like a number like you were stuck with as a freshman, right? But Chris
I
Cole
know.
wearing 9, and Raylan wearing
Raylan's wearing number
5. So
five.
yeah. So yeah, and then some other people. Obviously, I have the whole tight end group down here.
Of
Ethan
course.
Barbour. We said that about him. I think we need to see him. He's a name you need to watch this year. He just does it all really, really well. He has great practice habits. He blocks well. He's physical. He catches the ball well. He runs great routes. Elias Williams, I mean, he showed flashes of brilliance with some catches last year in his 6'7" frame. That is just waiting to be tapped into. Both of those guys, of course, wearing 9 and 10. And then the two down here, you mentioned one, I mentioned the other. And as far as the depth chart is concerned, a lot of ESPN and other places have these flipped, uh, one or the other. So we don't really
Mhm.
know. But Khalil Barnes will wear 7. and then Jamali Riddle. They don't know to wear yet, but some people have this flip. Some people say that Riddle's going to come in and take this position. Some people say Khalil Barnes will have this position. So I think we got to keep an eye on it and see what's going on during
Either way.
spring. Yeah. Yeah. Either way, I think you got longevity there. You have guys who've
got
been
depth.
there, done it. And my honorable mention in here is that I would say that has a real good shot at doing well too. That we heard some flashes of towards the end of the year is Dinkins as 27 as Kirby calls him Dink.
Yep.
In that that kind of robber, that kind of Joel position that was played by Joel that went on to play for Ole Miss. Curious to see how he's going to do at Ole Miss. But yeah, hear my voice.
I'd like to see Bo Walker get some. Oh, I know. I hear you, dude.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I think Bo Walker is going to be a guy that we're going to see a lot more of this year. I think he's going to have a way bigger impact this year.
It's a good call
about him. Plus,
not
I love the
coming up
name.
on a lot of lists.
I love the name. Well, I mean, he doesn't really have anything to show for yet, except for the, what, how many, 4 touchdowns?
Yeah. That
was
game
it 4 touchdowns or something like that? Yeah.
It was pretty wild. Well, that's it, man. Hey, spring is going to be exciting. When Fish, give us our date again. We are what? 17th, right? St. Patty's Day?
Yes, sir. St. Patty's Day. Get
St.
your green
Patty's
on.
Day. Green touches green.
That's right.
I thought it'd be cool to before we got off tonight, Fish, in honor of spring and spring football. Give me do you have a memory around spring football that just kind of jogs your memory that you can kind of go back to and go, this was kind of cool. Doesn't matter what year it was. I mean, I thought of a pretty good one. I didn't think I had one, but I have a pretty good one.
Well, it's not really football. It is, but when Kirby sold out Sanford Stadium and Luda came and performed at G-Day, I'll never forget that. That was nuts. And it was also crazy seeing Stanford the stadium packed like that, dude. Like, it was crazy for a spring game. It was nuts. The vibe was good though. I liked it.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I was looking so forward to, man, Matthew Stafford. When we signed Matthew Stafford as a 5-star, as a first 5-star quarterback, during the Rick days, in a while that we signed a guy of like, I mean, because I gotta be careful. But we had some quarterbacks that came through that were like, hey, well, good. I can't believe that I got excited about some of these guys. It was tough to handle in some of those times of the year. But man, when we signed Stafford, I was like, dude, I was so excited. I DVR'd that spring game and I watched it over and over and over. And, back then I didn't really know what it took as a freshman in the SEC to come in and play. I was like, man, he's coming in and he's playing, man. I mean, he did come in early and he did play early. But man, I don't know about you, Fish, but I felt like when Matthew Stafford was the quarterback at Georgia, we had a chance to win games when he was there. You just felt he had electric arm. He had a good sense of the quarterback position. We landed a quarterback from out of Texas, which at that time was unheard of. Only the big schools with, they were giving out McDonald's in a bag money were landing those guys. So one of my fondest memories is watching him play.
14 playoff that year. Georgia's in. And Georgia probably wins.
Yeah,
Georgia was the hottest team in the nation at the end of the year.
Was that the Hawaii year?
Yeah,
Hawaii. We played Hawaii.
That was the Auburn blackout and Hawaii blackout.
Yeah,
they destroyed Hawaii. Yeah. Oh my God, just obliterated. Had no business being on the same field as that team, dude.
Yeah,
that was a joke. That was a travesty that we got left out of the BCS that year.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. You remember the quarterback that was played for Hawaii? It was kind of I don't know about you, man. Makes you sound like kind of bougie, but like I didn't even care to watch that game that year. Colt Brennan was the quarterback for Hawaii, and we just felt like we were too loaded for that game, man. Like, Noshawn Moreno was one of my favorite backs to come through. I mean, it was just it was kind of depressing.
Yeah, it was, and it was a huge letdown. And we messed around and we lost 2 games. I understand,
Right.
but even everybody, ESPN, Fox, everybody said Georgia should have been in the BCS that year with 2 losses. Should have been the first 2-loss BCS team, and we would have been the national champs that year, no doubt in my mind.
Right. All right, man. Well, hey, next time we chat, we will maybe have some live looks at what's going on. I mean, could be next Tuesday, right? Could be first day it breaks out. I don't know. St. Patty's Day, we'll have to wear green. Maybe you
Heck
got the
yeah,
green in the background, so it'll be good. But yeah,
I've
man,
got a green Georgia shirt, bro.
there you go. There you go. Football's around the corner, man. That's the important part. Spring football, and then I don't know about you, Fish, but like I'm not trying to rush things, but you know what happens at the end of spring football, right? Like the official countdown to fall practice and the first game of the year gets to start. So it's like these are huge dividends in the football world, especially in college. So looking forward to it,
Yep,
man. Looking forward to cheering
yep,
on
me too.
Georgia and the basketball in the SEC tournament, as well as seeing where they get
Pay
into the
attention.
NCAA tournament. And maybe I don't know, man. Maybe we should do a watch party, man. That'd be kind of cool. I don't
Yep.
know.
Yeah,
Do a
look,
live
dude,
watch
I'm
party on
telling
the
you,
game.
they're fun to watch, man. And an interesting stat: they lead the nation in dunks this year.
Wow. But here's the
The
thing, man.
nation.
I can't watch it because like I just know it, man. I just like I kind of want to watch tomorrow night's game, but like are you gonna text me and be like, bro, you can't watch any of the NCAA tournament? But
Here's what I do. Here's what I do. Okay, I'll watch it until we get down by about 10. If we get down by 10, I stop paying attention and I'll walk away. And then I come back and we're up by 20.
right,
It's happened 3 or 4 times this year. It's crazy.
that's
But
wild, man.
Mississippi State game, I think, was I didn't watch a lot of the Alabama game for that reason because it was
Right,
tight,
right,
and I was like, okay, I'm watching it. Fate's not going to let me enjoy it.
right.
So, so I might as well just go live my life and I'll come back and hope they win.
Go live my life. Well, Fish, man, always fun, man. Looking forward to it. Keep a lookout for the names we talked about. The 3 big things we talked about we need to see coming out of spring. I'm looking forward to looking at the secondary, looking forward to seeing who's stepping out of the comfort zone in the wide receiver room. And I'm just looking
Yep.
for this defensive line that everybody's talking about. Just absolutely just control and be the talk of spring football, man. But for myself, for Adam Fisher, dog fans, if you haven't already done so, go and like and follow us. YouTube, Dogs Down South, TikTok, Dogs Down South, Facebook, Dogs Down South. We are on all available podcasts where they're what am I trying to say? Where they land? Apple Podcasts 24 hours later, Spotify. Go check us out. We're closing in on our 100th episode, man. This will be 96.
Awesome.
So we have to do something really
Awesome.
special. I don't know. Maybe
We
G-Day
have
is
to
the
do
100th
something for
episode.
number. We have to do something special for 100. Have to.
Yeah, maybe the G-Day. I don't know. We'll figure it out, man. But for
Yep.
myself, Fish, always a fun time, man.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, you guys enjoy your night, enjoy your week. Looking forward to G-Day, and as always on Dogs Down South, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.